So I want to share today, I want to talk a little bit more about how a health and wellness coach can change behavioral outcomes for clients. Now, what happens is typically when we have a problem in our life, we reach out to a friend, right? We reach out to a friend and we seek for advice. We ask them, I am in such and such dilemma. What do you recommend I should do? Or you just reach out because you are sad or you are unhappy or you have certain challenges in life, right? And usually in a friendship, the friend with their best interests gives certain advices, right? Now these advices by a friend are from their personal learnings of life, their personal journey. A lot of it is from their values and belief systems, right? And what happens is typically when we ever reach out to someone is always ready to offer a solution, right? Coaching is very different than talking to a friend. Very, very different. When we talk to a coach, a health and wellness coach, the coach actually does not offer advice. The coach's responsibility is to empower the client to make their own decisions, and this is where the key difference is. In a friend, when you're with a friend, the friend gives you advice, suggestions, and solutions. In a coaching relationship, it is the coach empowering the client to make their own decisions and coming out with their own unique solutions. And this is extremely powerful because change does not happen when it's an imposition. Change happens when there's an inspiration and motivation. And that motivation to change can only come from inside of us. It cannot be, nobody can tell us that we should do this and do that. And telling does not lead to changes. So behavioral change has to happen from a holistic perspective, and it has to origin from the client, right? One of the qualities that enables the client to actually discover their solutions is when a coach offers a safe space where a client can share everything without being judged, right? A safe space where they're not being judged for the way they conduct their lives, the way they think, the way they act. There is no judgment in the coaching space. So this dialogue between the coach and the client has to be without any judgments. And sometimes in social relationships there is a lot of judgment, right? And these judgments can come from the way we have lived our life for the longest time. For example, a woman must always have a child, right? A woman is incomplete without being a mother. So we've already made a judgment of somebody's life or of the female gender, that she would be incomplete. But that woman may have other dreams and aspirations, for example, okay? Or a path that she wants to take. Or social compulsions of getting married, right? I have to get married. So there's a lot of societal pressure sometimes. There's a lot of societal influences that sometimes influence the path of our lives. In the coaching relationship, there is no influence. We are trying to negate all the external influences, right? And deep diving into our inner self to discover who we truly are. Unless we know who we truly are, how do we even define our lives? And a lot of times, people don't ask questions, powerful questions like, who am I? Mera wajood kya hai? And a lot of times people don't ask questions like, what is my identity? Right? Like, who am I? Or what makes me happy? What am I called to do? Mere zindagi ka maqsad kya hai? A lot of people don't ask that. In a coaching dialogue, the coach facilitates an environment and a conversation which enables the client to discover a lot about these things. And this can only happen when A, the coach is patient and calm, has no judgment, right? Because everybody has a right to live and conduct their lives. So where there is no judgment and you're creating a safe haven and the coach is calm, connected, present with you, I always feel like whenever I'm in a coaching session, I'm in a bubble with a client, right? Nothing around me ceases to exist. It is just that client and myself, right? Completely contained in that same space. Now this kind of deep connection of presence with another person, I don't know how many times have you experienced in your life where you are with a person and you find this deep presence with that person. You feel you've been heard, you feel you've been seen, you feel that you've been valued, right? And I think we all, as a human being, we all aspire for that. We all want that, don't we? Right? We all want to be valued. We all want to know that we are special, that we are unique, that just acknowledging that person's presence is very, very important, right? And a lot of time when the people experience this level of deep presence with another person and presence within themselves, it invokes a lot of deep thinking, because no longer in that safe space are you thinking about what happened before the session. You're not thinking about what is going to happen after the session. You're just in the moment, just mindful presence, right? The coach actually facilitates that. And when there is such a kind of presence facilitated by the coach, right, and the power of that is felt by the client, magic can happen. Now it's also very important in the coaching relationship for the coach to listen very, very deeply, right? The coach listens to everybody. Lots of people are waving to me, so let me just say hello to Arpita. Hello, Dhara. Ignore the lighting of my video, please, on Instagram. Pradeep, and quite a lot of other people if I'm not able to see all of you, but here is a wave from my side as well. So the responsibility of the coach is to listen extremely deeply, right? So you're really connecting. Now since we are negating all the external influences of our life and connecting with my inner self at a profound level of presence and mindful presence, as I said, magic can happen. Now the coach, with this deep listening, when you, like what I said, in a friendship, what happens? You sometimes are not even able to finish a sentence and somebody says, why don't you do this and why don't you do that? Maybe this is what you, and friends mean well, but sometimes that clouds our own judgment of ourselves, not judgment, but our own ability to connect with ourselves at a deeper level, right? So when the coach is listening deeply, right, what is it allowing the client? This profound level of deep listening allows the client to discover their own solutions, to think through things, because they have to think, they have to speak and articulate what they're thinking. So you're giving them the time to process, right? So deep listening is extremely powerful, A, for the client, because A, you're giving them the space to think through possible options, recollecting ideas, suggestions, observations from their life, discoveries from their life, and articulate that in front of the coach. And when the coach is listening deeply, he or she is able to reflect back. You know the power of being heard. Ever been in a spousal dispute or disagreement? Resolution happens very, very quickly when each of the partners feel heard, right? And heard not with anger, not with frustration, but with genuine concern, and then makes a request. of what they would like, right? So that is also another powerful. So deep listening really, really is powerful, because then the coach can reflect back what their client has said. Now I'll give you an example of a coaching session, right? I'm just thinking off the cuff. So of a client that I had. Now there was this client who was really, really overweight, has been trying to lose weight for a very, very long time. So you can never tell him, he was not a client, he'd gone to a lot of people, but he was not somebody you could say, no, you must exercise 5 times a week and you must eat this, and that's what's going to lead to weight loss, right? Because the client in the coaching relationship said, which he discovered also for himself, is that he tends to procrastinate things, right? And he is somebody who doesn't take responsibility for his health, okay? The fact that he actually articulated and said, I am the reason for not achieving my health goals and I don't take responsibility. And in the coaching dialogue further, he said, as we move forward, it was very important for him to pick up very, very small goals, just maybe working out 10 minutes in a week, simple, small goals. Then in the next few sessions, he made a very profound statement. He said, I am the manager of my life. And he pasted that in his room and his office, everywhere, right? So the person who said, the reason why I have not lost weight is because I tend to make excuses, that I tend to procrastinate, was saying that I am the manager of my life, meaning that nobody can make him change, or he can only change because he is the manager of his life. So when that means he's taking accountability for his life. The moment the accountability came into the picture, that person started making lifestyle changes, right? Deep listening and reflecting. Now when the coach, somebody said, I am the manager of my life, okay? And the coach reflects back. And there are many different kinds of reflections. So should you be in our course, you will understand that. And the coach reflects, I hear you, I understand. I hear you say that you are the manager of your life. That since you are a manager, and only you can manage your life in a manner that is beneficial for your overall health and help you achieve your overall goal. So this is reflections. So when the client is saying something, you're reiterating that back to the client. Now what happens, the client is feeling heard, he or she is feeling understood, right? And when you listen back to, say, somebody like this client, when I'm saying the same thing what he has said back to him, he's realizing the power of what he just said, right? So this level of deep listening and deep reflections and powerful questions in a coaching relationship is what allows the client to propel forward by taking accountability. I'll give you one more example before I leave. I think everybody loves stories, right, of real people and real challenges. And this was this wonderful lady almost in her 70s, had knee pain. She was carrying excess weight and she knew she had to lose weight to move forward. So she basically, what happened in the coaching relationship was she again tried a lot of different things and she was not being successful. So in the end, not in the end, but in the coaching relationship, in the coaching dialogue, in a coaching session, in probably the first or the second session, she said, the reason for me to be healthy and for me to lose weight is because I want to be a fit grandmother. I want to be able to play with my grandchildren. I want to be able to do gardening because I just love gardening. I love seeing and growing plants and seeing them grow into a plant with flowers and fruits. I have been so busy doing all of these responsibilities in my life. I want to travel the world now. I have all the resources. I have the money. I don't have the health. Okay? So every time, so this is her larger vision in her life, right? She wants to be fit because she wants to be she wants to be an active grandmother. She wants to follow her passion for gardening. She wants to follow her dream of wanting to travel the rest of the entire globe, right? So this kind of deep listening from the coaches or facilitating the client to discover this for themselves, their larger vision, right? And reconnecting with their larger vision throughout the session also allows the client to, if they deviated away from their goal, bringing their focus back to the larger vision motivates them to actually achieve their goals. So just want to know, there's so many examples of sessions. I'll probably bring more examples in the next live. I hope you've enjoyed listening to me, and I will see you again the very next time, next Friday, or see for an update on my social calendar. Bye bye for now. See you again. Ciao.